One. How's it going, guys? I am Jamie the Comic, and I am joined by that's F and Rich, also known as the Yu-Gi-Oh Master. How you doing, Richard?
Yu-Gi-Oh, Martin. I'm fine, Jamie. And we're here today to discuss the Game Award nominees, which were just released a few hours ago, I think.
They were so. It's actually a pretty good lineup. The game of the year. I've already had a look at it, Richard. I'm sorry. I know we were meant to do like a live reaction here, but it was difficult. I had to have a sneak peek, and they're questionable. But for now, I'll tell you what, we'll just go straight into the best game direction, which is category 2, and then we will go back to the Game of the Year edition. So are you ready, Richard, to see what we're going to do? So the best game direction we've got is Deathloop, It Takes Two, Retro, Psychonauts, Returnal, sorry, dyslexia, folks, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Now, for me personally, I don't think Deathloop should be on this. It is even though it's got this sort of like time concept where it constantly resets, it has been done before, but just obviously not to a big budget AAA scale. So,
And I actually agree with I do agree with you there, Jamie. I think the main thing for me here is it's outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction, and yet Deathloop is about solving this loop, like solving a puzzle where you're supposed to kill all of these visionaries in the same day.
mm-hmm.
But you have to work out how to get them, into the same place as each other and everything. But the game holds your hand throughout every step.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly.
And that's not innovation to me. That's playing it safe.
Yeah, I mean the story idea and how it resets and how you have to like build clues and then it gains up is interesting, but it's been done before, so I don't think Deathloop should get that. But out of the remaining 4, I would have said Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, if it wasn't for the fact that It Takes Two is amazing.
Yeah.
So, best game direction, we have awarded for astounding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design, and It Takes Two is just up there for me. So
I think I agree. I agree. There's very few games that do co-op like really well, and It Takes Two is a co-op only game, and it's I think it's like one of the only games I've ever played that really leans into that. That it's like, we're gonna make this whole game about co-op. Every puzzle is about is co-op, right? Because whenever you play a co-op game, it usually doesn't have puzzles. It's usually like kind of like Borderlands or something, where you just go and shoot things. But It Takes Two, it feels like almost like it feels like a single player experience that you're playing with a friend, like a really cool one. So I think my vote would be for It Takes Two. What would yours be, Jamie?
It Takes Two. I mean, although we are kind of contradicting ourselves when we said Deathloop, it's been done with 4. With It Takes Two, it's definitely been done with 4. So A Way Out was made by the same studio who made this, and but I think what It Takes Two stands out for me is the fact that it goes through different emotions in terms of like how the story is told and the characters that you're in your world, and it sort of puts you into a position where it's so wacky it's not going to happen in real life, but at the same time you can sort of relate to their predicament that they have to work together, and it's does an amazing way of telling a story through its character designs, its environments, and its storytelling and its dialogue as well. So, but Retinal, I don't think did enough. It was an okay game, but I don't think it did enough. Psychonauts 2 is Psychonauts again. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So that was the only game that I would have said took it from It Takes Two, but It Takes Two for me just pushes it ahead of there.
Yeah, I think for me, Returnal would maybe be high up there as well.
Hmm.
But again, Returnal was fantastic.
Hmm.
But
Have we lost Richard?
it didn't feel like every
There we go.
run was it didn't feel like every run was like different enough
Hmm.
in Returnal. Um, I feel like it definitely had the potential there, and it was a great game. It was just not quite, like it was
Yeah.
almost there. Um, if
I.
they ever do a sequel, or even like a big DLC expansion,
Mhm.
I think they could really do it
Yeah.
fantastically
Right.
for that.
Right. So
Anyway,
let's look at the second category, which is best narrative. We've got Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange 2, True Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. It Takes Two
so
again. It Takes Two. Sorry, it
I,
does it for me.
it takes two is good. What I will say is I have not played Life is Strange Two Colors.
I have.
True Colors.
I
Yeah.
have. It is an amazing game at storytelling.
Yeah.
With just like every other Life is Strange game, but again for me, It Takes Two. It just pushes it out there for me.
Yeah. Uh, Guardians. I'm actually currently playing Guardians of the Galaxy,
Hmm.
and I think the story in that has actually been pretty good so far. The dynamic between the characters,
Hmm.
and Psychonauts 2. Even though the overarching story wasn't fantastic, the the way they do the storytelling, because you go into people's brains in Psychonauts 2, and the way they do this kind of like environmental storytelling where
Hmm.
you're seeing what makes this person who he is, what his fears are and everything, I think is really cool. Um, but it doesn't have like an overarching story that
Yeah.
I would say is worthy. Um, you know what would be my vote though, which
Mm.
isn't on this list, would be the JRPG Tales of Arise, which was released 2 months ago. Because that game, even though I was telling you about this game, the first 20 odd hours of it had a kind of very slow build up, like a lot of character build up, but a lot of character dynamics where they
Hmm.
first start off hating each other and then they grow to like each other. But then after that 20 hours, there's like another 20 hours of like all plot story, plot twist and everything like that.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I feel I feel like that would almost make it best narrative for me almost.
Just.
uh,
But
yeah.
unfortunately, we have to go with the five that are here, and It Takes Two. And are you going with It Takes Two again? I'm gonna keep
I mean,
beating this,
again,
beating you with a
pro-
stick until you say that.
yeah, probably. I mean, I haven't played Life is Strange yet,
Hmm.
and I'm only partway through Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hmm.
But yeah, out of what I've done so far, I think It Takes Two would
Fair enough.
probably get it.
Right, so next category is Best Art Direction. The Artful Escape, Deathloop, Kenya Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This is a tough one. It's a.
This is a tough one. So first of all, I did not like the art direction in Deathloop or Psychonauts 2. This is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you could very much enjoy them, or other people could very much enjoy them. Or I also haven't played the Artful Escape. I have no idea what that
Mm-hmm.
is. Um,
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know that one either. But Deathloop, I just feel doesn't have a distinct uh, art direction. It's definitely an Arcane Studios game. It's definitely got
yeah,
that feel of an Arcane Studios, but I don't think it sets itself apart from the fact that it's set in a weird like 1950s 60s sort of like era
yeah,
or 70s era.
yeah.
But other than that, I don't think it's got it. Psychonauts 2, very cartoony. I liked the art direction with that. But Kenya Bridge of Spirits came out of nowhere this year, and it
Yeah.
was amazing. It's not the best game in the world. I'm not gonna praise it for being so, but it is one of those games that you just look at it and go, "Oh my god, this was made by an indie studio. This didn't have backings from like Sony
Yeah,
or Microsoft
yeah.
or Nintendo. It was amazing.
The cutscenes are so beautiful in that game.
It's
Yeah,
Pixar quality.
Yeah. And even just in the main game as well, every time you destroy one of the evil rot things that are corrupting the land, and
Hmm.
it all goes green.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I'm just like, wow, okay, this never
Yeah.
gets old. It's just like, Ratchet and Clank though as well. There's so many parts of that game, like the parade at the beginning, where you just have that whole city before you, and you feel
Hmm.
like you're just in the tiny section of this city.
Yeah.
And like the bit I think in the first level where you're going down a grind rail, it's pouring with rain, you got cars flying everywhere and everything, and that's just like wow.
Hmm.
Um, I really don't know who to give it to between them. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
I
Ratchet and Clank, I liked with the fact that it's how it actually, because art direction isn't necessarily the fact that oh it looks pretty or all the colors here give a very artistic look. It's also to do with technical achievement, and with Ratchet and Clank, with the power of the PlayStation 5 and the SSD memory, switching between rifts at a whim looked beautiful, and it played beautiful with that. But I have to give it to Kenya. Not Kenya, sorry. As a country. Kena. I have to give it to Kena, Bridge of Spirits, because that was gorgeous. And I remember the first 5 minutes of that game, I was generally smiling the entire time. And when I completed the first, this, I'm trying so hard not to spoil it for the people who haven't played it. But when you send the first like boss spirit on, I was smiling that entire way, and I was like, you know what? I'm happy with this game. That is the end of the story. And then I realized, wait, that was one. Oh my god, I'm so happy. So, Kena, Bridge of Spirits gets my vote. You?
yeah, it's so difficult. They're so even for me, but I feel like even though Kina was
I
both
got you
PS4
saying
and
Kenya now.
I know, both PS4 and PS5. I think there were just more times in that game where maybe it was just cutscenes and not actual gameplay. I don't know. Like I think the cutscenes in Kino were just the best. Like there's no contest. They were just the best
Yeah.
this year. The moment-to-moment gameplay though, maybe Ratchet and Clank in some bits. So I really don't know. But I want to give it to Kina. Like, because Kina, it's like an indie studio. I'm like, they deserve it. They,
Yeah.
for the fact that like how much smaller of a studio they probably are. I think they were an animation studio before
They were an
before
anime
yeah.
studio. This is their very first go at a video game. But with the way like technology is moving on,
I know.
like
And
sorry,
what a first go at a
yeah,
video game as
very
well.
first. I mean, it again, it's got its issues, but considering it is their first go at a video game, it was amazing. But they did do good storytelling and good art direction. Anyway, next category is the best score and music. Now, this goes to the Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Near Replicant version 1.1 to 2.
You don't need to read it all out. Yeah. So for me on this one, obviously I haven't played The Artful Escape. I only got about halfway through Cyberpunk before the bugs and issues just made me like stop playing it. So I never, I don't, I'm not sure I heard all the kind of soundtracks in that game. For me, this would be between again because I've only just started playing it. Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy
Yeah.
and Near Replicant.
I like how they've had to specify it this time for outstanding music, inclusive score, and original song and/or licensed soundtrack.
Yeah, and Guardians of the Galaxy so much licensed like
It's
soundtrack.
almost as if they had to add that and/or licensed soundtrack because, let's face it, not Red Dead, Grand Theft Auto would win that in a heartbeat. If we get another Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah.
but
What I'm torn up for me at least is Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy has so many like licensed soundtracks in there, and a lot of them are all like really great.
yeah,
Near Replicant has a lot of original songs in there that just fit the mood of the game and the part that you're playing and everything, and it's fantastic. It's like it's one of those songs that you just put it on and you're just like, this is the Near song, like it's almost like the Halo theme tune. Obviously not as prolific, but
yeah.
for me, it's very tough. If you ask me tomorrow, I'll probably change my opinion. But I'm probably gonna go with Nia on
Okay.
this one,
Yeah.
honestly.
To be honest, it for me, Marvel's Guardians and Nier, I don't believe licensed soundtrack should have its own category because Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy has some right bangers in there. But Nier, in terms of originality, is great. It's such a shame I've never heard of The Artful Escape.
I know.
I can't remember seeing any trailers
No,
or
I've
people play this on YouTube or Twitch.
yeah, I've heard nothing
It's
about
totally
it
gone
at
under
all.
my radar. So I definitely want to check that out. My opinions would probably change if I did play the Artful Escape. But to the developers, if you're watching, I'm really sorry. But the fact that it has been nominated for a handful of awards does make me interested in playing it. So I will give it a go. But that's the first time I've heard of it. Right, so next category, Best Audio Design. Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal. Returnal. Returnal, sorry.
This is going to be the running joke of this episode, Jay.
Returnal. Returnal has it for me. Because that was the game that sold many people on 3D audio for the PlayStation 5, and it has every reason to be in this category. So, Returnal, definitely.
So for me, unfortunately, I haven't played Forza Horizon 5. I do definitely want to try. I'm not necessarily a car game person, but since it's on Game Pass, I do kind of want to try it out at some point. What I will say with the 3D audio is I played Resident Evil Village mostly with headphones on, and I think I was telling you that story where I was at a point in the village and I was like, there is a noise I can hear over there.
Yeah.
And I said to my girlfriend, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to turn around and then I'm going to reorientate myself to that noise without looking.
Okay.
And I did it, and I was able to do it every single time because of the 3D audio. I've tried playing all of these with 3D audio. I did play Ratchet and Clank mostly with just out the speakers. But yeah, it would probably be between Village and Returnal for me, and probably Returnal.
Returnal. Yeah, Returnal for me because it was the game that sold many people on how great 3D audio and the PlayStation headphone. It was an advertisement for the PlayStation headphones, but 3D audio with Returnal, spot on.
Returnal?
Returnal. Oh, don't do this to me, man. Right, next category is best performance. So Eric, I do apologise to all the voice actors if I get your name wrong. Erica Mora as Alex from Life is Strange. Gus as Antonio Casio for Far Cry 6. Jason as Colt in Deathloop. Maggie Robertson as Lady Dimitri, I think. Thank you.
Demetrisk.
Oh god. I am so sorry. Ozimio. Come on. You've got the list up, right?
Oh god. Ozima. Sorry.
I am so sorry. We have to give it to her because we've messed up her name. But you know what? It's a really tough with this. Because
what would you say? You've played True Colors. How would you say that? How do you say Erica Mori compares to?
That's the problem, though. Everyone here does their roles absolutely perfect. The problem is each game is its own genre. So Life is Strange, you're dealing with more drama. Far Cry 6, you're dealing with a dictator. Deathloop, you've got two Deathloops here. So the main character for Deathloop, he is suave, he's smooth, he's he wants to get shit done. Lady Dimitri from Resident Evil is spooky, she's scary, she sounds like she sounds like someone you could trust, but she's got that menacing feel. And
I think it's definitely
and
hard.
Juliana Blake is a badass, but she knows something. Everyone does a fantastic job. I mean, I don't want to give it to Far Cry 6 purely because he's not in the game for that long. Not really.
Yeah.
So I think that can rule it out. But
You know who I want to give it to?
what?
Lady Dimitrescu.
Okay.
Because she like Gus or like Anton from Far Cry 6. She wasn't in Resident Evil Village for that long. She was only in like the first third of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But she left such a lasting impression that I'm like, I have to give it like the fact that her performance was so good
Yeah.
that she left such an impression makes me want to give it to her. I mean, it could be that the others are better, but
Yeah.
that's just my vote anyway. Who would you vote for? Are you gonna vote for?
I don't want to be biased and say Life is Strange True Colors, but Erica's performance was amazing. But again, that was more drama. That was more sad. While everyone else does their own performance their own way because that character demands it that way. So
Yeah, it sounds like her character had a lot more opportunity, or the voice actor had a lot more opportunity to express that character in
yeah,
so many different emotions that just kind of elevates her performance above the others.
yeah. I'm gonna go with Erica in that case. But everyone there does a fantastic job of their roles. So if it wasn't for the fact that Erica was through the game for the entire the Deathloop characters are there for the entirety, but the fact that you feel more emotionally connected to Alex from Life is Strange just does it for me. Right, next category is games for impact. Before Your Eyes, Boyfriend Dungeon, my dyslexia, Chikoro, A Colourful Tale, Life is Strange True Colours, and No Longer Home.
This is for a thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning or message. Now, I haven't played any of these, so I can't really give my opinion.
Okay. Chirocol is the only one I haven't heard of. Boyfriend Dungeon, I know someone who has played it and she really liked it. No Longer Home. Oh, I don't know. Before Your so for me, Life is Strange True Colors wins this because I had more of an emotional impact and a connection with those characters and the situations they were in, and it left a lasting impression for me. But unfortunately, games for impact for a thought-provoking game with pro-social meaning could mean anything to anyone. So you could associate yourself with the True Colors. So you can find yourself disconnected with Boyfriend Dungeon and feel more connected Beyond Your Eyes. It depends on what you're feeling at that moment in time. So it is very difficult. I think Life is Strange True Colors is going to win it purely because it's the more popular title and one that more people have heard of.
Oh yeah.
But all of these games, unfortunately, again, I can't speak for A Colourful Tale, but all of those games there touch people in different ways. So Life is Strange for me, but if it Before Your Eyes and No Longer Home is a close second, joint second, I would probably give it to No Longer Home, but ever so slightly. But yeah, I have a feeling Life is Strange is going to win that purely because of it's a name people recognise and it's a name people are just going to vote for, unfortunately. But yeah. Right, next category is Best Ongoing. So these are games that weren't released this year but are still ongoing. So we've got Apex Legends, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite, Genshin Impact, and Call of Duty Warzone. If Call of Duty Warzone wins this, I am quitting video games forever.
Yeah. So I've played all of these, but well, except for Warzone. I haven't actually played Warzone. But I played all these except for Warzone, but I haven't continuously played them or kept up with them. So I've only really dipped in and out, and I can only really say kind of give my opinion on how good they were when I at the time that I played them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and from what I've heard, on through the internet of stuff going on with the game at the time and everything. And I mean, I've heard amazing things about Final Fantasy 14
Mm-hmm.
online. Um, that is probably that and Genshin Impact are probably my two favorites from
Genshin
here.
Impact would win for me. I feel like, unfortunately, I'm not really one for playing
Mm.
these types of games, so they're not really for me. But I feel like Genshin Impact's going to win this one. Call of Duty Warzone is so broken. Every time unfortunately, being serious, every time they release a new update, there's new glitches or there's new exploits. So it ruins it for me. It really does. So I remember playing the first season, loving it, and then as soon as the second season of Warzone came out, that's when the hackers became more prominent, and then I just lost interest because of that. So Call of Duty Warzone should never win. It shouldn't even be nominated. It's awful the way that's being treated. Fortnite, however, I love how Fortnite are treating it. I really do. Fortnite's not really a game for me, but the fact that they are constantly introducing new worlds and building their own metaverse with this and getting characters from like Marvel versus DC, literally Marvel versus DC, or like Naruto's just been released.
Yeah,
That's amazing for me.
And having that you could watch concerts in the game and
Yeah.
all stuff like that, I think is pretty cool as well. Like I said, for me personally, it is for me personally, I think Final Fantasy 14 Online
Mm-hmm.
takes my vote, but that's because, as you know, I like myself a good story,
Mm-hmm.
and Final Fantasy 14 builds up to be a really, really great story. And though I have not played like the latest expansions, I've heard
Mm-hmm.
that the late some of the latest expansions have stories that rival even some of the best Final Fantasy games out
Yeah.
there, and
Mm-hmm.
so and a villain which rivals some of the best Final Fantasy villains as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just heard nothing but positive things about this game
Yeah.
as well.
With Apex Legends, I don't think they are doing enough in terms of what they can give. Like all the other, including Call of Duty Warzone, the rest of them seem to be giving more content, more stories than Apex Legend. Apex Legends just seems to be doing the bare minimum, and I think the only reason it's on this list is because it's popular. If it was up to me, I would replace Apex Legends for Splitgate. I know Splitgate won't win because it's still in its season 0, so it's still pre-season. But Splitgate is so much fun compared to Apex Legends at the moment. But
Me as well. I'd probably replace Call of Duty Warzone with Legends of Runeterra, which is a card game,
okay.
but again, it's an online card game,
Mm-hmm.
and which has been continuously producing content every single month since it has come out. And it only stopped doing that for 1 month because it was having a big, World Championship tournament.
Yeah.
And then the month after, they brought out a massive PvE expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So um, that's one I would definitely put in there, just because they have been non-stop adding stuff to this card. Like the card game's only been out for a year,
Yeah.
but they have been adding non-stop, like tons of expansions and everything to it. And it's not like they're charging a lot of money for this game either.
Mm-hmm.
All the cards are super easy to get and super free. All they really charge for is like cosmetics,
Mm-hmm.
like your board or little animals that you have on your board and different hero skins and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. All the cards you can easily collect for free. So that's definitely one I would add to this list
If you had the choice. That's fair.
yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next category, which is Best Indie, 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Encryption. That's the game that you're playing.
Yeah. Just finish.
Kina, and Loop Hero. This is a very tough one.
It's a very tough one for me, because for me this is between Inscription, I mean, and Kina.
For me, this is between 12 Minutes and Kina. Loop Hero, I haven't heard of. Unfortunately, this is the first time I've heard of it. Death's Door, it didn't grab me, unfortunately. So I wouldn't be voting for that. But yeah, Inscription, sorry, is.
Description.
I haven't played it, but from what I've seen of people playing it and you, Richard, it looks so fun.
It messes with your mind. It's like, what I love about Inscription is that it's a competent card game that I wish had a multiplayer.
Well, they might do at some point.
I know. It's a competent card game, but then it's also an escape room, and then it also it just messes with your head. But Kina was so good as well. What are you going to give it to, Jamie?
Again, it's difficult. 12 minutes was fantastic. It was short, very short.
That's 12 minutes.
Fuck you. But yeah, 12 minutes sort of like had it had the Deathloop excitement that I wanted from it. Like, even though it was short and even though that it wasn't much to interact with, it felt ironically more fast-paced in Deathloop for me, which is why I preferred 12 minutes. But Kina, oh my god, I can't stop thinking about it. Kina, I'm sorry.
I know. Like, for me at the moment, Inscription and Kina are like here. And when I think about like what game, like a year from now, I'm definitely gonna both of these games I'm gonna remember very, very fondly in my head. But I don't know. I actually think I'm gonna have to give this one to Inscription.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, yeah, it's this might also be recency bias because I've just finished it, but it's one of those ones where I just can't stop thinking about it because it's just so cool what it did. And what I actually found out the other day was there are so many clues and hints and like puzzles to discover in that game, and there are people who have made this like online document where they literally have gone through and found all of these like deciphered all of these puzzles and hints within this game, all these like little Easter eggs the creator has put in. It's just so cool. I have to go for Inscription. Both of them are fantastic. I'm definitely going to play through both of them again at some point. But Inscription, and again, this is probably through my love of card games as well.
Yeah.
I think if I did not like card games as much as I do, I would probably go for Kina.
Okay.
But yeah, Inscription just had me.
Fair enough.
Right after I played that first hour, I went to work the next day and I was just like, I just want to go home and play some script. I want to know what happens next.
Yeah. No, that's it. If it has that impact for you, then it has all me. I'm so so happy Inscription is nominated for it because it only just got released, and the fact that it is being nominated is amazing. Right. Yep. Next category, best mobile game presented by Verizon Mobile. None.
No, I know.
Fantasian, Genshin Impact, League of Legends, Wild Rift.
I've only played Genshin Impact and I played it on the PS4.
Marvel, Future, Revolution, Pokemon Unite.
Pokemon Unite is like a League of Legends, I think.
It's also on the Switch, so I don't understand why it counts as a mobile game. Oh, Genshin Impact, I don't know.
Well, it's the best game playable on a mobile device. Well, again, for me, this would be Legends of Runeterra. Because that's a card game that you can play on your mobile device. But I mean, I've heard really good things about Genshin Impact. I don't know how it plays on the mobile, but I've heard really good things about Genshin Impact. I have not heard, other than Pokemon Unite, I haven't heard anything about any of the others. Unless that Fantasian is the near mobile game.
It is.
Which I do want to try out. But so for me, Legends of Runeterra. But if I had to pick the one on here, probably Genshin Impact. but just from the fact that I really haven't tried any of these.
Not fair. Genshin Impact purely because unfortunately I'm not a mobile player, so I don't know. Best community support.
Well,
I'm
It's probably not Destiny 2.
no, I'm shocked that it's on here. So we've got Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite, No Man's Sky. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparencies, and responsefulness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. Fortnite. Hands down, Fortnite for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. For me, see, I've heard a lot of good things about No Man's Sky. I haven't played the new No Man's Sky, but I've heard like tons of good things about the fact that they put all the did they bring out the big patch for No Man's Sky this year?
I can't remember, to be honest. It's not a
Yeah,
game that I lost interest on it a few
yeah,
months ago.
and then I have just heard nothing but good things about Final Fantasy 14 online. So I don't think I'm really qualified enough to
Yeah,
to
same.
say for this. I'm just going to give my vote to Final Fantasy 14 online because
I'm going to
that's
give my
my
vote to Fortnite purely because
yeah.
the community out there is, compared to the rest of them, the community for Fortnite is the loudest. It's the most outspoken, but in a good way. And they got merch that you've made it when your community is buying fake merch. You go to a store and it's got like the Fortnite like emotes.
Yeah. I was thinking less for the community like that. I was thinking more for like the social media presence and the way they
Yeah,
interact with people and everything.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's hard to say. I would say definitely not Destiny 2 because from what I've heard from Destiny 2 is that they just have not listened to
yeah.
user feedback with their new updates. But I think any of the others will
Fair.
probably go
I'm
for it.
surprised Destiny 2 is still ongoing. I would have thought Destiny 3 would have been a thing by now. Anyway, so innovation in accessibility. So recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. So people with accessibility issues.
Yeah.
So we've
Yeah.
got Far Cry 6, we've got Forza Horizon 5, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and The Veiled Shadow of the Crown. Unfortunately, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it would be nice if they actually said why it's been nominated rather than just said, oh, here it is.
I know. So for me, I don't like when I play a game, I don't go into the menu and look at all the accessibility options because I don't need them. But what I will say is that when Ratchet and Clank was coming out, there was I saw some big articles on that game showing off all of its accessibility options where you could do, it had all the colorblind modes, you could have things highlighted, you could do this and do that. So, I mean, for that reason, I think my vote would go for Ratchet and Clank. But again, I do not know because I have not looked at any of
Yeah.
the accessibility stuff for any of this.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that, without trying to sound like I'm ripping on the news outlets like they're like IGN or GameSpot or people like that, they have been given the accessibility tools so they can play around, so they can show the audience that they are available, but they don't actually
Oh,
review it that way.
yeah. Oh, one thing I will mention for Guardians of the Galaxy, which I did notice in the menu, is that you can set your difficulty, but then you can also fine tune the difficulty. So you can put it on normal, and it will have what that means. So it'll go, okay, this player damage is 1.1, or player damage is like 1 times. Enemy health is like 1.1 times. Cooldown rate is like 1.2 times, and you can set that how you want. So I think that might be what it means for Guardians of the Galaxy, in that you can fine tune the difficulty of the game to be exactly your preference, and I think that's what it means
Yeah.
for that as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, let's go on to the next category, which is Best VR and AR. We got Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, Sniper Elite VR. Can we just give Resident Evil 4 the award just so they can go, right, fine. You've had your award for literally everything. Now, stop releasing it. Piss off.
Well, I just watched earlier today. I just actually watched the girlfriend review of Resident Evil 4 VR, and it actually does look really good.
Yeah.
Like apparently they've redesigned the enemies because you have more mobility in VR. Because it's not like in the base game you had to stop and shoot. You couldn't move and shoot at the same time. Now you can go, you know, like doing all this cool stuff. And apparently they've rebalanced the enemies for that. And I've just been watching some of the game, and it looks fantastic. And Jamie, you can now kiss the merchants.
Oh my god! Game of the year. Yeah, I can't speak because I don't have a VR, unfortunately, which is unfortunate.
I have a VR. The sound is broken on it, but I have not played any of these. I have played I Expect You to Die 1. If 2 is anything like 1, I still probably wouldn't give it my VR game of the year.
Okay.
I've heard some really good things about Lone Echo, like the first Lone Echo, but I never got a chance to play it.
Okay.
I didn't even know Hitman 3 was in VR.
It's kind of a tacked on feature. It's not worth it. That's why it's got like the PS4 VR headset, because it was something that's just tacked onto. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's worth it, unfortunately.
But what I will say is, out of all these, I've been hearing tons of really good things about Resident Evil 4 VR. I know as much as we might meme on it for it being on everything and stuff, I think it probably actually deserves it. But again, I haven't played Lone Echo 2.
I'm judging you, Richard.
And I've heard it's good for that. But my vote will go for Resident Evil 4 VR here.
I'm judging you. Right.
You're judging me.
Now, Capcom, you have every award for this game. Piss off with it. We're sick of you. Right.
Well, no, Jamie, they're remaking Resident Evil 4.
Shut up. No, I don't. No. This VR was the remake. That's all I care about. This VR was the remake. It doesn't exist. Right, anyway. Best action game. Back 4 Blood, Chivalry 2, Deathloop. Go away with Deathloop. Far Cry 6, and Returnal. For God's sake. For
me, this one's easy.
Right. I'll tell you mine, and then I'll see how shocked you are. Chivalry 2.
Okay. No, I'm not that shocked at all, because Chivalry 2 is the only one on this I haven't played.
Okay.
My one is Returnal.
Okay.
I'm currently playing Far Cry 6, and I'm hating every minute of it. Okay, that's an exaggeration, but it's I'm not hating every minute of it. I'm liking it, but it's just Far Cry 5, but with a different coat of paint.
Fair.
For me.
You know what? I was really hoping Back 4 Blood was going to be good.
Same.
However, it is good in terms of the improvement. However, there is such a thing as adding too much just for the sake of being different, and the fact that they added way too much to be different from Left 4 Dead, and to say, oh, it's 100 times better than Left 4 Dead, makes it feel bloated, and I didn't like that. Sometimes it's fine just to be simple and go back to basic, and I feel like Back 4 Blood just took it a step too far for that. So I didn't like it. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad game at all. It's not a bad game. It is so fun, especially when you're with friends. But I don't think it was as great as what people were hyping it up to be.
Yeah, I really wanted it to have, the same mode that the Left 4 Dead did, where you and your friends would go through a map, and then you'd also have enemies as the special zombies trying to stop you. But they don't have that in Back 4 Blood. It's just...
Well, they are going to be adding stuff in the future, so it may be something that they add to it, but...
Yeah. Oh, speaking of playing with friends as well, Far Cry 6 has co-op. And honestly, I think that game would be so much more fun if you did play it co-op.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't played Chivalry 2.
Mm-hmm.
So my vote is Returnal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, totally expect Chivalry 2 because I haven't played it. Totally respect your decision for that one.
No, I respect that decision. That's fine. Yeah.
Wow, I just realized. I bet the best. It says for the best game in the action genre, focus primarily on combat. But Far Cry 6 is just pretty standard Far Cry
Yeah.
shooty combat. So I'm not actually sure why that one was in here.
Shooty, bang, bang. Weird. Right, next category is best action and adventure game. Now, this is the categories that I think we're more accustomed to. So, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. For me, Ratchet and Clank.
Same.
I haven't played much of Guardians of the Galaxy. I only played a demo of it. And it is fun. And I know you have some really good opinions about Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. But Ratchet and Clank, for me, just pushes it for me. Metroid Dread, I don't know. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the means. But Nintendo being Nintendo played it extremely safe with that. It's so lackluster with it. Psychonauts 2, more of the same as Psychonauts, which is great. It's good. Resident Evil Village, I was too scared to play it, so no, that gets no votes for me. But no, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
So yeah, for me, definitely Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. As you mentioned, I have been playing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think it has a really good mix of puzzles, gameplay, everything. Resident Evil Village as well. That is probably my second choice actually on here because it has an amazing, I think it has an absolutely amazing mix of puzzles. Like there's one part of the game which is just an escape room, and it's really really awesome. The village itself is awesome. The only reason it does not win over Ratchet and Clank for me is it kind of drops the ball in the second half of the game.
Okay.
The first half is absolutely fantastic, and then the second half just kind of drops all of those puzzle elements and just becomes more of a shoot your way to the end kind of experience. And that's the only reason that doesn't actually win this category for me. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank definitely wins it for me there.
That's good. Right, so we are category 16 of 30. Technically 15 because we skipped the first one. But I don't think we're going to go into much more because it is stuff that we don't have much experience for. But best role-playing game.
I have experience in this one. Although I haven't
Cyberpunk 2077 is nominated. Monster Hunter Rise. Scarlet Nexus
is the only one I haven't played.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 and Tales of Arise. Monster Hunter Rise gets this for me. Amazing.
Monster Hunter Rise is the only one I haven't played because I'm not a massive fan of the genre. I enjoy playing it with friends, but I'm not a massive fan of just hunting down the same dinosaur again and again and again to get the parts and stuff. I did not enjoy Scarlet Nexus. I will say that. So definitely doesn't get that for me. I am thoroughly enjoying Shin Megami Tensei 5, but it only came out on Friday. So I've only been playing it for about 5 hours.
Okay.
So I really cannot say for that. So my vote would go for Tales of Arise.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Yeah. But Monster Hunter Rise, phenomenal game. It doesn't do much compared to its predecessors, but it's still fun.
Yeah, I expect Monster Hunter Rise will probably get the winning vote in this category as well. Is what I think.
Cyberpunk 2077. Sorry.
I know we laugh, right? But I'm just so disappointed that we are laughing about that. I think all of us. I think all of us just wanted that to be good. Like all of us, I think, just wanted it to be a masterpiece.
Nah. Okay, next category. Best fighting. Demon
Oh
Slayer.
well,
Oh, sorry.
this is obviously the Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl, Jamie. I mean, like what?
We'll discuss that. So we got the Demon Slayer game. We've got
Yep.
Guilty Gear, Melty Blood. I haven't heard of that one. Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl, Smash Brothers, and Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Now, I absolutely love Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. I am really high ranked on it. I am amazing at it. You come at me, bro. I will beat you with pay. Yeah, I main pay, and I don't even care.
Yeah.
I don't think it should win, no. Purely because
Yeah.
it hasn't done enough to warrant being the best fighting game. It is literally Final Fantasy. It's literally Virtual Fighter 5 version 3.0, and all they've done is slightly balanced tweet and made the graphics look nice. That is not enough for me. It shouldn't win. Demon Slayer reminds me a bit like
Naruto.
yeah, the Naruto, which isn't a bad thing, but it's very cut and paste with that as well. Guilty Gear, I don't have much experience with that. Melty Blood.
Yeah, I know Melty Blood is an anime in the Fate universe.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
I do like the Fate universe.
I think gameplay wise, I haven't played any of these games, but by looking at the image there, I would expect that gameplay wise it'd be very similar to Guilty Gear, where it's like more of a 2D brawler type thing. At least I could be completely wrong. I could be completely speaking out my heart here.
And Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl. Yes,
the Super Smash Bros.
You know what? It's as lackluster as it is in terms of what it does. It's so fun, and I want that to win, not based on like how it's been designed, because if you look at it compared to especially the games listed here, it is not well balanced at all. Like the hitboxes, like see my webcam here. I've seen YouTube videos of people getting hit there, even though they are at the end of the box. So it needed balance for that. But Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl is so fun purely because it's Nickelodeon and it gets the kids involved. So I want that to win purely because of the experience with it. But Demon Slayer, I don't know. Demon Slayer is so fun as well. This is hard. If I was going to be biased, Virtual Fighter 5 purely because I'm good at it, and if I'm good at a game, it deserves to win. Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl, because of the fun factor, and I feel like it will win pure because memes. But Demon Slayer has a great story. It's telling the anime story, but it is still fun to play and watch all the animations play out. So Demon Slayer, I feel like, is going to win that. Okay, right.
I really don't know for me because I haven't played any of these. I think if we're just talking about what one is like the best fighting game, from what I've read online, seen online, it's probably Guilty Gear. For me personally, I think I would really enjoy playing Demon Slayer or the Nickelodeon All Star Brawl one because they're more of a casual type of fighting game as opposed to a more hardcore type fighting game. But I'm not going to give a vote here. I don't think I can say
Yeah, fair enough. Right, so next category is best family. How is Nickelodeon not nominated for this?
Yeah.
It Takes Two. I know it's not a game. I know
it's not.
It's not a family game. It's not a scary game. It's not like rated PG, Peggy 18. It's not a Peggy 18 game. It is something that anyone can play, but it's not a game that younger audience can like understand the story or appreciate it. So just because it's set in like a toy land, it doesn't work. Mario Party All Stars. I'm biased. I've never played a Mario Party, but I've seen. I like watching YouTube videos. It looks fun.
New Pokemon Snap.
New Pokemon Snap.
I thought that was
Love
single
Pokemon
player,
Snap.
I thought that was single player, but I guess as a family you could like pass the controller around and take turns.
Yeah,
to, like,
that's what
go
we.
through the same course.
That's what I tend to do with my girlfriend. We just play, see who can get the best scores, and that'll be fun. And then it infuriates me where she is proving to me how broken the game can be sometimes, because she will say, you know what, I'm going to get a better score than you. How? By taking the pictures of the exact Pokemon in the exact frames and the exact poses. You're lying. And then she just does it every time. It annoys me. Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, I don't think should be nominated on here, but it's going to win because it's Mario. Because if it wasn't for Bowser's Fury, that shouldn't be on here. Bowser's Fury is DLC at the end of the day. It's a story DLC. It shouldn't be its own game. WarioWare Get It Together. WarioWare always wins for me.
I love WarioWare.
Yeah.
For me, my vote for this would be Mario Party Superstars, because I think, first of all, it is one of the only games on here that you can play 4 players, so you can play with the whole family. And it doesn't matter what level of skill the people in your family have, everyone has a chance of winning the game. Trust me, I know, because I've been playing against normal computers that I've ruffle stomped throughout the whole game, and then they just come back and win at the end.
You know what? Nickelodeon Brawl needs to win this, and it's. I'm not bashing on It Takes Two for getting nominated for a category. I'm really not. It is a fantastic game. I'm bashing it for being a family game because it does not. It deals with story elements and situations that a young player would not understand, so it shouldn't be on here. Right, next category is Best Sim and Strategy. Age of Empires 4, Evil Genius, World Domination, Humankind, Inscription, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Inscription. I mean,
Inscription for me, but I feel like this is kind of a bit weird because you can't really compare sim games to strategy games, and I feel like Microsoft Flight Simulator will win this category though, because I've heard nothing but really amazing stuff about the technology that it uses for the Microsoft Sim. But I haven't played any other than Inscription. I haven't played any of these, so my vote's for Inscription.
Well, you know what? I've played 3 out of 5 of those, and I haven't played Inscription, and I want Inscription to win. But yeah, that's me being biased. Right, so 21 category 21 is Best Sports and Racing Game. Right, so very quick, and then we'll move on because sports games suck. Let's agree with that. They are the same thing every year, but they're still pretty fun. Richard, 1, 2, 3, who are you voting for? 1, 2, 3, Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, yeah.
Right, there we go. Hot Wheels, fun. Right, next category is Best Multiplayer. Back 4 Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, there's 6 categories on this. Monster Hunter Rise, New World, Valheim.
I mean, It Takes Two.
I'm sure I said that.
If it was traditional because it says including co-op experiences, right? If we're just talking about this is weird, right? Because I really don't think co-op, like a co-op game, should be included with a multiplayer game. I assume that the choices for you would be It Takes Two or Monster Hunter.
It Takes Two with me, but I understand your concerns with multiplayer here. However, we have gone through a transition with video games recently where multiplayer is no longer that we're playing online. It's not a Battlefield, it's not a Call of Duty, it's nothing like that. It is playing with a group of friends or a group. That's why Call of Duty, Battlefield would be massive online games now. You know what I mean? The same way what's it called? Final Fantasy 14 Online would be classed as an MMO. You've got competitive shooters, you've got competitive multiplayer, and I feel like best multiplayer, these categories are correct. I reckon there's going to be another category for competitive game, which you would get your Splitgate, you would get your Battlefield, you would get your Call of Duty. So but yeah, It Takes Two for me. Who are you voting for?
Same.
Yeah, okay. Next category. Content Creator of the Year.
Jamie the Comic.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to vote for That's effing Rich. Unfortunately, I am so behind the content creator, so I think we're going to have to skip that. Best debut indie. Why wasn't this before that? Okay. The Forgotten City, Kenya, Bridge of Spirits, The Artist Escape. Sorry, don't know why I forgot that. Sable and Valheim. Keena.
Yeah.
Keena.
Definitely Keena. I have heard. I do want to play Forgotten City though. I've heard it's really, really good.
Right. So you are aware of like the development of Forgotten City, right? It started out as a mod for another game, and then
I heard about that.
The Forgotten this is a remake of that mod to be its full-blown game, and it's not as great, unfortunately. So again, being biased to Keena because I haven't heard of Artful Escape, but the other two just didn't do it for me.
Well, Keena is one of my games of the year this year, so it's definitely going to be Keena for me.
Okay, most anticipated game presented by Prime Gaming. Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda, because I don't have Starfield, God of War.
This one for me is between Elden Ring and God of War, because I'm a massive like Dark Souls fan, and it goes God of War.
Richard.
Yeah.
You must choose, but choose wisely.
Yeah, no, it's God of War.
Thank you. Right.
God of War for me.
Next category.
But Elden Ring is, I'm super looking after watching people play some of the the new network test thing that's just come out.
Yeah.
Even more looking forward to it now. But nothing is going to beat boy. The ending of I cannot wait for Ragnarok.
Okay, so as we were talking about multiplayer, we are now moving on to next category, which is more in line with the multiplayer that you are accustomed to, which is Call of Duty. Just Call of Duty. No specific, just Call of Duty. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, League of Legends, Valorant. I do not want to give it to Valve, purely because out of a... What's the word? I was going to say sympathy, but that's not the correct term. Purely out of a protest. They have just not been updating their games to a high standard. Valorant, for me, is the one that's been getting the most love from attention from the developers. So for me, Valorant.
I don't play any of these, so
I win the argument.
Yeah, I have played them, but years and years ago. So I'm not going to give the vote for this one.
Fair enough. Best esport athlete. Unfortunately, we can't vote. So these are the categories that we can't really vote for. Best esports team.
Okay. Let's go for this, Jamie.
Best esport coach and esports event. Yeah, we can't really vote for that. So yeah. What were you going to say, Richard?
Let's go for this for the esports athlete. They have little quotations between their name for like I guess their like in-game name.
Okay.
Right. So just tell me which one you think sounds the best.
Simp.
So we have Simp, Showmaker, Collapse, Simple, or Tens. I think we have to give it to Simp.
Best name ever. Right, so we're voting for the best name ever. Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll do that. Best name. So Atlantic Phase.
What for the next category?
Yeah, Dwog Kai. Dog. I'm sure that's meant to be dog. Cactus Venzia, Sentinels, and Team Spirit. I'm gonna go with Team Spirit.
I was going to go with Team Spirit. I was going to say Sentinels, but I think Team Spirit is just like
It's
it's more
wholesome.
like it's wholesome. Yeah,
It
I think that's
plays
why we
on
have
your
to.
heartstring.
Yeah,
Okay, so next one is best esports coach. We've got
silent.
Silent Enough, Bade, Crowder, Coma, Coma.
Come on.
I'm gonna go with Coma because he sounds like the type of person who would knock you the fuck out if you did not play right. So Coma for me. And finally, best By the way, I just want to say to all the esports players, teams, and coaches who are nominated this year, no disrespect. We are just playing around, but we want to follow you. We really do. But the UK, we do not have like the best outlet for esports. But we'll try. And Beast. Sounded very Australian then. Beast Esports event. Wait, what the hell was that? Sorry. best esports event. Best esports event. So we've got the League of Legends. We've got the International. We've got the Major Stock PGL. Oh, is that just generic? PUBG Mobile Globe. How is mobile gaming got its own esports? I don't understand that. And Valorant champions. PGL Major Stockholm. There we go. So, Richard, now we are going to move on to the final category.
The game of the year.
The game of the year. Now,
so
I don't want to disappoint you. However, what game do you want to be on here? Just one.
What, that isn't on here?
Yeah. It's difficult.
Sure. I mean, my game of the year, the one that I thought would be my game of the year, is on here.
Okay, right, that's fine. So let's go to
okay.
it. So we've got Deathloop, we've got It Takes Two, we've got Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Oofed. I am so sad Kena is not on here, because that would have been my game of the year, unfortunately.
I think Kena definitely deserves to be on here.
Yeah, I don't understand how Deathloop has got so many.
I know Deathloop is like everywhere. It's like, and it's the marketing for this game was like They must just be putting like they must be sponsoring the show or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it either. But no, Deathloop should not be on here. So Deathloop definitely out there because we're not going to look into that. It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village.
So Jamie, what do you think is my game of the year?
I think your game of the year is It Takes Two.
You would be correct.
Thank you. I do not know if mine is It Takes Two or Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
My very close second is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Okay.
But It Takes Two for me was just an amazing experience.
Yeah. It's soul impacting, literally soul impacting. But yeah, Metroid Dread for me, again, played it way too safe. And I feel like it's only on here because it's a Metroid game that we haven't had for years. And, like, unfortunately, Geoff Keighley is a Nintendo fanboy. I know he doesn't have final say in the final list because that would be biased. But I just swear he's put that on there.
Speaking of Geoff Keighley being a fanboy, I'm surprised we don't have, what's it called, the Kojima remaster on here for
no remaster.
Death Stranding.
You know what? I swear remasters and remakes was a category at one point, and it would have been on here. I'm so glad it's not. But for me,
if I had my choice, I'd also put Inscription on here.
Yeah,
because I enjoyed that game that much that I would put it on here as well for nominee.
Right, I would put Kena, and I know Kena isn't the most perfect game on here compared to Ratchet and Clank. I would consider Ratchet and Clank a 9.5 out of 10, and I would consider Kena a low 8, high 7. But I still think Kena should win, purely because of the story, the characters, and the environments it got, and it was just an amazing experience for me. But Ratchet and Clank for me, ever so slightly moves it. It is like Ratchet and Clank, It Takes Two, everything else is a huge drop. It's just an inch. So, Richard, are you happy with the nominations on here, or do you...
I'm actually mostly happy with everything we've seen. What do you think will win?
What, Game of the Year?
I think Ratchet and Clank.
It's hard to say. I don't think Ratchet and Clank will win. Unfortunately, I don't think it will win.
I swear, if Deathloop wins,
it's going to be between Deathloop and Psychonauts 2. Psychonauts 2 is a fun game. I don't think it deserves Game of the Year. It's not the greatest, but neither is Kena, and I think it should be on this list. So, but I have a strong feeling Deathloop's going to be on here purely because of the marketing and like the
I feel Village could actually have a chance at winning just through popularity, because I think like Village when that came out was insanely popular. Like everyone and their mothers were doing let's plays of Village when that came out, and Lady Dimitrescu.
Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry. Mommy, yeah.
But I don't know. I still think I would have said Ratchet. I would still say Ratchet and Clank, but we have to remember Ratchet and Clank is PS5 only. So people who have not played it,
Deathloop is PS5 only at the moment.
Is it? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Because I'm thinking people who have not played Ratchet and Clank might just go, "Oh, well, I haven't played it, so I can't vote for it. So I won't vote for it." And in that respect, Village might be because Village is on everything but Switch.
Yeah.
So I don't think Village deserves to win. I think the first half. I think I've said this before. The first half of Village, fantastic. That first half is actually Game of the Year worthy.
Wow.
But the second half of it is not.
But do you feel like the second half was just setting up for 9?
No.
You don't think? No. Right, okay.
No.
Because I haven't played it, but from what I've heard is that there are hints that the second half is like leading up to something, which is why it is. Because you are echoing what loads of people are complaining about with Village. They're saying it's a fantastic game, but only the first half. The second half needed work, and they think it's because that half is the Marvel Cinematic Universe equivalent of setting up the next bad guy. But
but for me, first half was a 10 out of 10. Second half was like an 8 out of 10.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I would say.
Right. Well, Richard, thank you so much for joining me. It has been interesting listening to your opinions. And
yours as well, Jamie, and your pronunciation of Returnal as well.
Thank you very much.
Very, very interesting.
Thank you very much. And again, to the esports team nominees, I am so sorry. We won't do you a dirty next time. Okay. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember to stick to IGN. Not IGN.
IGN? Jamie, what? Have they sunk their claws into?
You know what? It's because I was speaking to someone earlier, and they were saying, you know what you should do? You should do what IGN does, and for everything else, stick to IGN. And I was like, I was going to say that as a joke, but like for everything else, stick to KaiMines.com. But then I remember KaiMines the website's down at the moment. So for everything else, stick to KaiMines' YouTube channel. Yeah, no, the joke's ruined now. Bye.